Dewey 954.
Africa on Safari by Kim and Tonya Illman. Tonya's on the line. Hi, Tonya, how are you?
I'm great, thanks, Mike.
What's it like photographing these creatures? The one on the front of the book there, this hippopotamus, it's got the biggest snout in the world. Is that a foreshortening effect, or does it really have a nose that size?
Well, yes, it really does have a nose that size, but most of the time you don't actually get to see it in that position because it's rarely photographed like that.
Right. So how did you do it?
We used a photographic buggy that we drove up to the animal, and it calmly posed for us, and we ended up with that beautiful photo.
That really is amazing. Although I don't think, as a human being, I'd want to get that close to them. Those things, if you're in the river at the same time as them, they'll come and snout your boat, won't they, and bite you?
They are the most dangerous animal on the earth, and they are ferocious when they come for you at high speed. And we have had one come for us at high speed, and it was an eye-opening experience.
What did you do?
I got back in the car very quickly.
Yeah. And does it stop then, or did it have a go at the car?
No, it just stopped dead. It was more of a warning than anything.
It's just letting you know.
Yes.
This is my turf, let's be clear.
That's right, and we need to respect that, and we did respect that.
Okay, you got a whole variety of critters in here, though, and the reason you got up so close is because of these remote control cameras, is that right?
Yes, that's right. We originally went... I went to Africa 20 years ago, and then for 20 years tried to convince Kim to go on a safari with me, and his response was always the same: why would I want to go there? That'll be boring. So then one day I was working from home, and I thought, right, that's it, I'm just going to book it. So I booked for the four of us, myself and our children and Kim.
Right.
I rang him at the office and I said, we're off on safari. It's done, it's booked, it's non-refundable.
I've painted you into a corner.
And so I said to him, I've done the airfares, you do the ground content, you do the research.
Yeah.
So he went ahead, and I'd actually booked us just to go to South Africa because that's where I'd been in the past, and I was happy there.
Right.
But then he started the research and realised that we needed to go further afield. So we ended up on our first trip in Tanzania and Kenya. And from that moment, we actually did one night at the Nairobi National Park because our flights didn't work out for us to end up in the middle of the Mara. And so we thought, we wouldn't waste it. We went to the Nairobi National Park, which is right in the heart of Nairobi. And we didn't really expect to see much. But we did see 9 lions on the actual sign that said Nairobi National Park.
Really?
Yeah, just all posing beautifully. And from that point forward, Kim was just hooked. He loved it. That was our intro, and he was hooked from day one. From that point, we got home back to Australia, and 7 weeks later, we were back in Africa. And that's pretty much how it went for the last 2 years.
So you came up with this magnificent book. What's it like trying to get anything done in those countries? Because they don't seem to be, to put it mildly, very efficient or successful.
They are slow, but we've never had any trouble. We did our research from the beginning, and we came across a guide who's the head of the Kenyan Guides Association, and he's worked with us on most of our safaris. And so we have had no trouble, nothing at all. Very safe. I always feel really safe, and no problems. I would recommend it to people who have shied away because they're scared.
Yeah. No, it's not a question of being scared so much. I just wonder, you want to get something like this done, you want to get a certain result, you want to get it done at a certain time. I just wonder what it's like dealing with those countries when you're used to a certain level of efficiency here. By the way, you used quadcopters, apart from the remote control camera buggy, which you mentioned. Quadcopters, they're like drones. They're so fashionable now.
It's a drone, yes.
Yeah, okay. How do the animals like that?
We use it sparingly, and only in parks or in private concessions where we have permission of the concession managers. And the animals don't seem to have a problem with it. We took some amazing pictures where we flew it straight up to a giraffe, right up to eye level, and it just stood there and looked at it, and we took a few pictures and flew it off, and the giraffe wandered off.
Okay.
But we are very conscious of it. We'd never fly it over anything that's going to cause any problems or upset any animals or people.
Yeah. But something like a herbivore, like a giraffe, they've got to keep eating all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe they just think, what's that? Oh, leaves, and go back to eating leaves.
Yeah, giraffes are curious by nature, so they kind of have a look at it and just wander off.
All right. They didn't try and snout it or anything. They just were
No
totally
animal.
accepting of it.
No animal's ever done that.
Anything else try to go you apart from the hippopotamus on the cover?
Recently, we were in a place called Mana Pools in Zimbabwe, and we were on foot. That's how you can't drive vehicles off the main track in that particular area.
Yeah.
So we were on foot. We had been for hours, and we'd seen nothing, and I actually had no hope of seeing anything. I'd completely lost any faith in being able to see any animal. And then our guide spotted a male lion with a mating female. So
Right.
we stood and watched them, and he said, "This is what's going to happen. He's going to finish with her, mating with her, and he's going to spot us, and he's going to charge us. And you have to just stand your ground and don't stop taking photos."
Right.
And we did, and I have to say, when you're using a 300mm lens on a camera, that thing coming at you at lightning speed, it looks like it's almost on top of you before it stops.
How'd you feel?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I really did. And once I took my camera down and I realised how far away it was, I thought, I was never in any danger. And the guide said, "This is what's going to happen." And that, he said, it will charge at us, it will stop and turn around and go back. And that's exactly what happened.
Well,
These guides are out there all day, every day, and they're professionals in their field. So we're guided by them and we trust them.
they know they're big cats. Apart from apex predators, I noticed some cute animals in the book. What would you say was the cutest?
I love the warthog.
Really?
They have character, they really do.
Do they?
Yeah.
I expect you to say a meerkat or a little monkey or something. A warthog.
No, I do love the warthog.
But they look like they'll snout you and rip you with their tusks.
They certainly will. They certainly would. But they're very shy and they always run away from you. But every now and then you'll come across one that's a little bit cheeky. And I do remember one when we were in, I can't remember where it was, but it spotted us and it was rolling around in the mud and it was literally showing off, rolling and then looking at us
Yeah.
and then rolling again.
It's kind of going, how do you like my rolling?
Yeah, I think that's when I fell in love with them. I thought they've really got character.
Really, really. Anyway, it's a magnificent book, and you used some unusual techniques to get the outstanding results that you did. Tonya, I appreciate you coming on the program. Thank you for that.
Thank you. It's been nice to chat.
Tonya Illman, Australian wildlife photographer and Africa enthusiast.